We live in a world that feels very new. We have phones that connect us to anyone, anywhere. We have cars that drive themselves and machines that think. It is easy to believe our problems are also new. We worry about our jobs, our families, and our happiness. We feel stressed and often lonely, even with so many ways to connect. But what if our problems are not new at all? What if people thousands of years ago felt the same way? The truth is, they did. They worried about their harvest, their community, and finding meaning in their lives. The past is not a distant, dusty story. It is a mirror. It shows us our own faces, our own fears, and our own hopes. Learning from the past is an act of humility. It is accepting that we do not have all the answers. It is understanding that clever people have lived before us. They faced enormous challenges, often with far fewer resources than we have today. They built great cities, created beautiful art, and developed profound ideas about how to live well. Their wisdom was earned through hardship and experience. To ignore their lessons is to start from the beginning, to make the same mistakes all over again. We are not the first people to feel lost or to seek a better way. We are part of a long, continuous story of being human. The past holds a wealth of knowledge, waiting for us to listen. Think of history as a vast library of experiments in living. Every ancient civilization was a grand attempt to answer the big questions. How should we govern ourselves? How can we live together peacefully? What is the purpose of our short time on Earth? They tried many different solutions. Some worked beautifully, while others failed spectacularly. We have the unique advantage of being able to study their results. We can see what led to prosperity and what led to collapse. This is not just for historians or academics. It is practical advice for all of us. The past offers us clues to navigate the complexities of our own modern lives, if only we are willing to look. So why do we so often forget to consult this library? Perhaps we are too proud. We think our modern technology makes us wiser, or perhaps we are too busy. We are caught in the rush of the present moment, with no time to look back. But taking a moment to connect with the past can be deeply calming. It reminds us that our struggles are universal. It connects us to the great chain of humanity. When we feel overwhelmed by today's news, we can find perspective in the long view of history. We can learn that societies have faced crises before and found their way through. This is not just interesting, it is a source of strength and resilience. Let us look at a real example from the past. The ancient Romans were masters of solving big practical problems. Imagine their growing city of Rome. It needed vast amounts of fresh water for drinking, bathing, and sanitation. Without it, the city could not survive, let alone thrive. The challenge was immense. The nearest clean springs were many miles away, across hills and valleys. How did they solve this? They did not have modern pumps or power tools. Instead, they used something more fundamental, a deep understanding of nature and a commitment to long-term thinking. They designed and built the aqueducts, magnificent structures that stand to this day as a testament to their genius. The Romans understood gravity. They knew that water would flow downhill if given a gentle, steady slope. So they meticulously surveyed the land, carving channels and building bridges to maintain this precise gradient over incredible distances. This required immense patience, cooperation, and a vision that extended beyond their own lifetimes. They were not building for next week or next year. They were building for centuries. They invested enormous resources and manpower into a project that would benefit generations they would never meet. This commitment to the future, this focus on creating lasting infrastructure for the common good, is a powerful lesson in civic responsibility and long-term planning. Now, let us travel to another part of the ancient world, ancient Greece. The Greeks faced a different kind of problem. They were concerned with how to make good decisions, not just as individuals, but as a community. In the city of Athens, they developed a radical new idea, democracy. They believed that the best way to govern was to involve the citizens in the decision-making process. This was a solution to the problem of tyranny and bad leadership. They knew that when one person holds all the power, mistakes are easily made and corruption can grow. They trusted in the collective wisdom of the people, even when it was messy and slow. The Athenian assembly was a place for public debate. Citizens would gather to discuss laws, declare war, or decide on public spending. They understood that good decisions come from listening to many different points of view. They valued reasoned argument and persuasive speech. Of course, their system was not perfect. It excluded women, slaves, and foreigners. Yet, the core idea remains incredibly powerful. They tackled the problem of governance by creating a system based on participation, debate, and a shared responsibility for the fate of their city. They showed us that talking and listening are essential tools for solving our collective problems. How can these grand historical examples help us in our daily lives? The lessons are surprisingly personal and practical. Take the Roman aqueducts. We may not be building giant water channels, but we are all building something, a career, a family, a personal project. The Roman approach teaches us the virtue of patience and long-term thinking. In our fast-paced world, we often seek instant results and quick fixes. We get frustrated when things do not happen immediately. The Romans remind us that great things take time. They require careful planning, steady effort, and a focus on a distant goal. This wisdom can help us persevere when we feel discouraged with our slow progress. The lesson is to focus on the foundation. Are we building our lives on solid ground? Are we investing in things that will last, like our health, our relationships, and our skills? Or are we chasing fleeting trends and short-term gains? The Romans would encourage us to think like an engineer of our own lives, to map out our path, to anticipate the valleys and hills, and to build structures that will support us for years to come. This means making small, consistent efforts every day rather than hoping for a single breakthrough. It is about the quiet, daily work of building a good and stable life, one stone at a time. It is a profoundly calming and effective way to live. Now, consider the wisdom of the ancient Greeks and their practice of democracy. We can bring this into our own homes and workplaces. How often do we face disagreements with our partners, children, or colleagues? Our instinct might be to impose our own will or to avoid the conflict altogether. The Greeks would suggest a different path, the path of dialogue. They would encourage us to create our own small assemblies, to sit down, listen to every viewpoint with respect, and search for a solution together. This means valuing the opinions of others even when they differ from our own. It is about creating a safe space for honest conversation. This practice can transform our relationships. Instead of seeing disagreements as battles to be won, we can see them as problems to be solved collaboratively. It requires us to be humble and open-minded. It asks us to believe that the best answer might come from a shared discussion, not from one person's mind. When making a family decision, like where to go on holiday or how to handle household chores, we can apply this principle. By giving everyone a voice, we not only arrive at better decisions, but we also strengthen our bonds. We build a small democracy of our own, founded on respect and mutual understanding. This is the ancient Greek ideal, made real in our living rooms. As we look towards the future, it is easy to feel anxious. We face complex challenges, climate change, political division, and rapid technological shifts. It can feel as though we are sailing in uncharted waters. Yet this is precisely when the wisdom of the past is most valuable. History provides us with an anchor. It reminds us that humanity has navigated periods of great turmoil before. Civilizations have adapted, innovated, and endured. They have faced plagues, wars, and environmental crises. Knowing this does not solve our problems for us, but it gives us a profound sense of perspective and hope. We are more resilient than we think. The lessons from the ancients are not about copying the past exactly. We cannot simply rebuild Roman aqueducts or Athenian assemblies and expect them to work perfectly today. The world has changed. Instead, the goal is to understand the underlying principles. From the Romans, we learn the importance of long-term investment in the common good. From the Greeks, we learn the power of inclusive dialogue and collective decision-making. These are timeless ideas. We can adapt and apply them to our modern context, using our new tools and knowledge to bring these ancient values to life in new ways. The past is not a rigid blueprint, it is a source of inspiration. Embracing ancient wisdom also enriches our inner lives. In a world that often celebrates the new and the noisy, the past offers a source of quiet depth. The Stoic philosophers, for example, teach us how to find peace in a chaotic world by focusing on what we can control. The teachings of Confucius show us the importance of family, respect, and social harmony. These are not outdated ideas. They are powerful tools for building personal resilience and finding meaning. By connecting with these ancient thinkers, we join a conversation that has been going on for thousands of years. We realize that our personal struggles for happiness and virtue are part of the great human story. Ultimately, the past gives us a story to belong to. It reminds us that we are not alone, adrift in the present moment. We are heirs to a vast inheritance of wisdom, courage, and creativity. By studying the successes and failures of those who came before us, we can make wiser choices for ourselves and for future generations. We can build a future that is not just technologically advanced, but also humanly wise. The path forward is not about forgetting the past, but about learning from it. History holds the light that can guide us through the darkness, offering us hope that we too can overcome the challenges of our time.